Hello everybody, I'm Jeff Archfiend and these are my thoughts on Three's a Crowd. Just one moment. Clear! Sorry, had to make sure that Kim was still alive after this one. Big Discord fan and can only imagine what squee-induced heart attacks she went through just from the musical number alone. This episode was a pretty decent one. Discord at his finest and yet simultaneously at his worst. At his finest because he's doing what he does best, sowing a little chaos here and there and generally getting up to no good. Whilst the worst part comes from, well, his attitude, really. It kind of came across occasionally as this very spoiled, bratty child. You know, the type in the supermarkets that you just want to beat over the head because they're being very, very irritating. That aside, this episode has some interesting continuity aspects and some more world building. The train that Cadence arrives on, for instance. Solid crystal train, which looked awesome, although one has to wonder if they were all wearing earplugs whilst on it, given the screeching that was coming from it as it was going down the tracks. Speaking of the Crystal Empire, Crystal Pegasi! Previously, all we've seen are Earth ponies made of crystal, but now we've got at least one example that Pegasi do indeed form part of the Crystal Empire. And of course, Flash Sentry makes a brief reappearance. Who's Flash Sentry? He was the guy/guard in the Equestria Girls movie that Twilight Sparkle developed a crush for, in both universes. On the one hoof, I like that he's actually still around, as it means we may see more of him later on, but on the other hoof, one has to wonder what Hasbro are plotting on doing exactly, if he has any significance or if he was just a cameo nod. Only time and future episodes will tell. Back to the rest of the episode. Suppose I should mention the son in this episode. John Delancey actually singing that part instead of getting someone who resembles his voice to do it was pretty decent, and gives us an earful for what the man can do, aside from the let us visit the bronies thing. The song itself seemed to me to be reminiscent of Dr. Seuss in the way that it works in the pacing, the rhyming, and the timing. The visuals behind it were of course quite chaotic and some subtle, and not so subtle references placed here and there, which overall fits the tone for Discord's character. I could see him and Dr. Seuss actually sitting down or something and enjoying a good chat. And there's a surreal moment. Ooh. An aspect for this episode I enjoyed was the fact that they used the main six sparingly here. They were around for maybe the first 7 or so minutes of the episode and didn't make a reappearance till towards the end, which allowed the episode to focus more on the dynamic of Cadence, Twilight, and Discord. Again, like in Pinky Apple Pie, this shows that they do not have to drag every pony around with them all the time for an episode to work. On a tangent, one has to wonder how well known exactly Star Swirl the Bearded really is. I mean, in Season 2, when Twilight dressed up as him for Nightmare Night, only Luna, who had been banished to the moon for 1,000 years, actually could tell what she was going as. Now, in Season 4, there's an entire traveling convention for the guy? Either this is reminiscent of a Comic-Con setup for this guy in terms of how well known he is, or some pony found out that the new princess was a huge fan of Star Swirl and figured putting on this traveling convention would get them in the good books with a new royalty. Speaking of her royalty, finally! Acknowledgement! I'm sorry, but aside from the opening two-parter, no pony whatsoever has acknowledged the fact that Twilight is now a princess and royalty in Equestria. The fact that Discord and Cadence do so now is some much needed balm on this sore in the Season 4 thus far, and one can only hope that the acknowledgement continues on elsewhere in the series in the future, and hopefully not just at the end of this season. On a related note, it was good to finally see Twilight actually utilizing her new status as an alicorn, even if it was to be used as a chariot puller for Discord along Cadence, and then the two princesses teaming up to take out the Dune Worm. Huh? What? Oh, right. Apparently it's called a Tatsel Worm, according to Megan McCarthy. Yeah, I'm still going to call it the Dune Worm. This episode was full of references to stuff before, so why stop now? This episode also gave a nod to both the past and future of MLP with the opening letter and departure of Fluttershy to go see the Breezies. The past because the Breezies were erased back in Generation 3 of My Little Pony, if I'm reading this correctly. Basically think tiny ponies with butterfly wings. The future part is because, spoilers, there is a leaked title and basic synopsis for a future episode this season involving the Breezies. Ironically enough, for all the hyping of this being a Discord episode, And I know I'm probably going to get killed by Kim for this, if not her, then her army of minions. But I found this to be a more Twilight episode than Discord one. Something about it just felt more Twilight-esque than Discord-ish. Must be somewhere I can get the Kimbots off my tail after that. Aha! Hey, those of you who can doodle, see the Throne of Discords? The Chariot one? Well, we all know Kim is a huge Discord fangirl. How about stick her OC in some slave Leia get up, curled up around on Discord's lap, or with his tail around her like Jabba the Hutt, or something whilst he's on that chariot. There we go. That should keep them busy. And Kim, if you watch this, couldn't resist. It was literally the first thing that came to my mind. I'm Jeff Archfiend, signing out.